How's it going, YouTube? It's the Misplay for Game Podcast. As always, I'm your yapper of choice, Andrew KnTElixar. The date is wrong because, you know, it's been a while since we've been back and the tech issues are with us as always.
I literally knew I'd be I literally knew I'd mess it up. Hey, the internet, it's your boy, standing up the TommyNT. How are you today? Good to see you.
Whoa, it's me again. Hello, it's Mr. Trick on the Sticks. Back again because Marcio is off and I'm standing in. Or sitting in. I'm not standing like my original Tom.
It's gonna be a choice that will prove complicated in about I would guess 10 minutes. I think we're gonna do the first card and then I'm gonna go, this was a dumb idea, but I'm committed. It's Banlist season, everybody. What do you guys?
I would join you.
What do you guys
standing.
want for Christmas? You're gonna join me standing?
I'm considering it as we stand on business, but also let us know how audio is today. I realized I found out that Windows just took 50% off my microphone in system volume, which is why even though it looked fine, it was not fine. So yeah, sorry about that. Let us know if our audio is balanced. We're back on the new system. A bunch of things broke right before the podcast because of course they did. So that's why we went live with the wrong stream thing. But if you didn't see that, yeah, this is a short podcast. Everyone's here for one reason, and it's to have Growlmon X killed in the streets and everything else that comes with that. But you know, we're not quite lawyered up like we are last time, but we are, you know, it's kind of like a casual, you know, lockdown, everyone's doing this remotely kind of trial, you know. We got 11 potential felons.
I believe actually 14.
14.
Wow. But my fellow co-counselors on this trial are informing me that information may come and go throughout the process here today. We might even have a cameo.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to this definitely planned bit. And yeah, do we, you know, how has everyone been since the last podcast, which was an unspecified amount of time ago?
Yeah, when I was last live on the internet days ago, I fondly remember thinking I was going to go to Gen Con and just ball out and have a great time and see everybody. Thanks for the folks I did see. That was really cool. I saw a bunch of people who'd seen the podcast, which was very funny. I was with DHM. Shout out to DHM, friend of the show. And also, in case we'd never actually stated it live on the internet, my actual genetically related full brother. We got that a lot at Lucas Oil. People were like, how do you know Tom? And he was like, we grew up together. Yeah, very fun.
Like best friends.
Yeah, shout outs, I believe it was Dayton Digimon. It was good guys. Yeah, Gen Con was sweet. I bubbled and didn't get an invite though. So you know how we do it.
You draw 2 cards, Mr. Bubbleman.
Yeah, that's me.
It's okay.
Sorry, so like, how does it feel when you're like, "Hey, it's you from the podcast"? Because like,
dude, that must feel weird. Surreal, right? Yeah, it's so weird. I've said to a couple people that it's like, oh, it's really nice to say hello and everything like that. Like, you know, I appreciate it a lot. Thanks for watching the podcast. We put a lot of work in and stuff. But like, almost everyone, like, the actual nice part is that like, we just talk about cards. So like the minute I have that, like, oh, how do you know me? Oh, thank God. I'm always kind of worried I'm a little rude. The folks I met at Gen Con, I should, you know, this is one of those things I like should have remembered to write down if they were cool with names and stuff. So I'm just going to avoid names for this. But like, they were all like, hey, are you Tom? And I was like, oh God, did we go to high school together? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, it was one of those things. But good folks, good hangs.
You're thinking of other Tom.
Yeah. No, it is fun though. Andrew always talked about, like, me and Marcio definitely don't get it as frequently as he does, and so he thinks he's more chill with it. I think I'm chill with it because I've never had a bad experience. I'm just like, I was like kind of Rain Man. I was like at the table thinking about Rush Guillemon lines. And then people were like, are you from the internet? And I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was a good time though. Good hang.
Nice.
Gen Con was a sweet event. I believe I should have kept the thing up earlier. I outplaced a vault by 1 spot.
Yes, sir. Those.
No, he's a homie. He was writing top tables all day. He must have hit a rough matchup right at the end. And then the event was I think it was Meggy and Growlmon in finals, like last table 1 round 8, and then like there was crazy. There was like Machine Germans floating around. There was a Deep Savers dude. There was a couple Puppets players. Virus Imperial apparently was going on a run and then just hit 4 bad matchups in a row, which was pretty sweet. Gen Con seemed cool. I played against a lot of Omnimon as well. Omnimon was fun. I don't know. It's a hype tournament. I like it's funny, right? I think like there's this little bit of your brain, like you're gonna get this as well, Tom. You've been competing for freaking years, but like, you know, you go to a competitive event and most of your grievances with the like day-to-day Digimon crap, you're like, I'm kind of sick of this, goes away wicked quick when you're like, dude, I'm competing. My brain is making dopamine.
Yeah, that was me at Bandai Card Fest. I had one person, like my round 1, I sat next to someone who was like, I recognize your voice. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. When you're at locals, you enjoy locals, right? Like you go there, you have a good time, but like sometimes it's like, ugh, another week of Digimon. Maybe I'll give it a miss this time. But when you're at a regional, and before you go through all the what's the least amount of Digimon we have to play, you get stuck into like rounds 1, 2, and 3. You're like, yeah, you know what? I am actually enjoying this. You're ready for this. Gen Con is like to play it like a convention of that scale is probably like insane, all right.
It was nuts, man. That is I explained briefly in like our homies chat, but for anyone on the internet, it is the like NFL professional like American football stadium for my hometown.
Yeah.
So like we got to play a place like I had gone and paid to watch games like with my friends and stuff when I was in school. And it was like a big table setup. Like they had other stuff in the convention floor, obviously, because it was a football stadium. But like it was like, wow, like I would finish around, get up, and there'd be like banners on the wall, and I'm like, whoa, I'm doing it.
You're here. You've arrived.
Yeah, I made it. It was all worth it.
Dude, I'm so happy that you've had that, because like for me, all the sports stadiums I've been in that people would want me to be in, I've been in for the wrong reasons. Like when I went to the Emirates Stadium, because my family is like generational gunners even.
Whoa.
Generational Arsenal fans.
That's the technical term.
Yeah,
that's the correct term as well.
Yeah, I've grown up an Arsenal fan. My granddad, my dad, basically all Arsenal fans. So like going to the Emirates Stadium to go play Super Smash Brothers for Albion 4, really funny. Then we had the Salford Regional in the Salford Red Devils stadium. One of my friends and colleagues, he's like part of like the social team for the Salford Red Devils. So when he was like, "Oh, you guys are there," like literally we were with Saf like when we were getting my PC into the venue, and I was told like, "Oh yeah, it's the Sale Sharks," and then the other icon on that building is the Salford Red Devils. I'm like, there's no way this has happened again. But yeah, it's really fun to be in sports stadiums to do not sports. Big fan of misappropriating spaces.
Warsaw
it's fun.
Too.
Yeah, Warsaw was crazy. I think a lot about like I have long maintained as like a little esports sweetheart that like you don't have to legitimize things in the context of existing sports structure. But damn, if I'm not gonna lie when I say you sit down in a stadium where you bought popcorn and a drink upstairs when you were 11 and you're like, dude, I'm him. Yeah, it was tight. Gen Con was a great event. I have played. It's actually not my first Gen Con. I played one of the online ones years ago. That was like 2022 or 3 maybe. It was the one when the participation prize was the BT5 purple Gilmon alt, and I was like, well, I got to play one of those. And then I got finalist. It was my best placement up until I guess like recently. So good times. It was fun to do it again, and in person.
Speaking of doing it again in person and cool events, did y'all know that the Misplay which button is this?
He's got a different keyboard today, chat.
Yeah, I could have walked into the other room and that made this transition way easier, but instead we're gonna wow, the biggest fall-offs in the Digimon TCG. Well, that's ominous. Yeah, we're doing the Misplay for Game Case tournament again, and tickets are live. Some of the people on this call already have their ticket. Hopefully,
that's good. That's very hype. I keep seeing the number like go up. I am currently 5 hours behind all the rest of you guys. So I got up this morning. I was like, dang, people bought them already.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's
I only get
crazy.
notifications for the ones that are pay through PayPal, but anyone that's paying by card or other things, I do not get the notification until I check. But yeah, this is the limitless for it. As you can see, it is entry code locked, so people don't just randomly sign up. But if you head over to the Shopify store that is linked in the description of the most recent YouTube video, it's in our YouTube community, and it's also in the announcements of our Discord. You'll be able to get access to the Shopify, and all of the members at Rookie Above also get a little discount. So you can buy your ticket, come support us, and come play some EX10 Digimon. And for those of you that are across the pond and want to support the tournament, or maybe you just can't attend, we have the ability to support the tournament with just like a small donation by buying like through Shopify, and then also we'll do one with egg sleeves as well if you want to get a little thing back from that. Designs aren't finalized yet. It'll probably be villain themed, and we do have a very cool set of sleeves for members.
Yeah, they're pretty good this year. I'm very excited.
Those of we've sprinkled little rumors of them in the Discord. Very funny. So yeah,
it's gonna be a strong feeling.
October 11th. Which is a Saturday. Yes, Saturday, October the 11th this year is when we're doing this. It is going to be at Fanboy 3, so it's nice and easy to get to. Got people. I've already seen a transaction that came through in euros, which means if you're in the UK and you don't show up, but there's someone coming from a different country, look at yourself in the mirror and think, damn. Everyone's always like, oh, I want to do different Digimon content. Here's your different Digimon content. Come support it. Help us not go bajillion minus this year. We'd like to do these every year.
we can go in the hole on the first case tournament. Andrew and I need to be able to pay rent next time.
Yes,
or a
sir.
mortgage next time.
Yeah. So
we ball out.
Yeah, that's the cool stuff that's on the horizon. It will be streamed, and yeah, hopefully this one is a lot of fun and people enjoy it, and the interactions and stuff that you can do even without being there are more. We took on a lot of feedback. And you've probably seen all of this in the ad because you were a good person and didn't skip the ad that I put definitely a lot of thought into making.
It's some of your best work, actually.
Yep. It was actually the second take because the first take didn't say the date or the format or anything until I was like,
All the one go Oganike, dude. That's you.
Like literally 2-minute recording. I'm like, I don't think I've said any of the important details. Let's do this one again. And proceeded
when and where?
Dude, what card game is he talking about? Did he play Magic this whole time?
He did play Union Arena that one time. Maybe he means that.
Oh my god, yeah. Hey, listen, this is a Banlist focused topic, but guys, having been to a giant tabletop convention, I have so many thoughts on how good card games are sick this year. If nobody has said it in a while, it's so tight. It's so tight. Oh my god, and Pokemon. We gotta do the serious business first because it's the busy week now. Things come out on Friday.
Worlds was this weekend, so anyone that watched any World stuff, we can go.
Unbelievable, great event.
But
great event.
Yeah, our production will not be as good as Worlds. I would love to, but hey, we'll have a fan and a store that sells food, and hopefully internet that supports at least 30 frames a second. So take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Fellas,
shall we do the dang thing?
Let's put some people on trial.
There's one blank piece here. If you guys are familiar with how Misplay for Game does these before, we have a little template we fill out where we make a little wanted poster. Last time we were a little bit more welcome to the court. We're going to go through our appeals. But this is Tom's first time doing one of these. So sorry, I forgot I'm mirrored. This is Tom's first time doing one of these. So I think this would be a fun opportunity to invite you, Tom, to, if you have any particular feelings about what you'd like in a ban list, just even to see it change, not necessarily like what kind of cards you want hitting, just like what kind of alterations to the pace of the game, the kind of viability, the breadth, the narrowness, anything like that. Any thoughts and hopes for your Christmas wish list?
You put me on the spot here. Goodness,
it's a big question.
It is. I think Growlmon X can come up to 4. Thanks for tuning in.
Excited.
No, I'm only kidding. I don't know what like cards you put on the wanted list. So in terms of,
I know there's some in here that you will be happy with. When I knew you were doing this with us, I made some intentional decisions to cater to opinions you have shared with me.
I mean, my biggest grievance at the moment, this format is like I can definitely see Omnimon is going to become like a big force. Okay, it's not actually just Omnimon; it's DNA piles that keep getting a lazy fix to their deck, which is just the tamer that free plays their rookie and then it can evolve. For people who like don't know me, I'm an Alliance stan ever since EX4. We were the first ones to get that tamer, but that tamer says it can't evolve. You have to have one or less Digimon on board, and it dies at the end of your opponent's turn. And like its secondary effects for 4-cost tamer, either reduction of 1 when you evolve a level 4 into a level 5 or higher.
And you're telling me that doesn't measure up to Daikan or Nokia?
You know, substrate free, gain memory, play out a searcher, and then it can evolve. Crazy how they got it right the second time, huh?
No, they got it wrong the second time. Like, ooh, let's dial it back. Memory setter.
Oh yeah. But the problem is we can't ban Daiken because then they'd have to limit Nokia, and they're just not going to do that. As much as I would like them to, they're just not going to do that.
Chat, you're gonna want to clip that one.
Mark my words. So like like a card hit that may or may not be on your list would be like Mega Knight. So that's like
no, I like that. That's what I thought of.
Because it forces them onto Future Potential, and like Future Potential does the same thing, but it doesn't let like Mega Knight does the rookie play and then gives you the delay option to if you try to interact with a level 6, you die because it becomes an Omnimon, whereas Future Potential doesn't do that. So I think that's like a little bit interesting where Omnimon doesn't lose power there, but they lose a layer of defense that would maybe make it easier to combat. Because like I've had games against Omni where I've gone against like Marcio in particular was playing it one day where it's like he had a board that was like rookie, Melga, Growlmon, and he passed turn and I couldn't deal with it because Mega Knight, and I was just dead next turn because it's like swing, DNA, Ultimus, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, a deck that has inevitability really shouldn't also have like there's no like figuring your way through the maze. We've actually airdropped you in and we've sealed all of the edges waiting for you.
Yeah. Because it's like stuff like that. It's also the rebuild, like the thing with like Imperial is that at the very least they have to go through 3, 4, 5, and 6, whereas this one just goes 3, 6, 7, you're dead. Here's 2 damage, clear 3 bodies. And you out my board, I'm going to do it again. In terms of like the pace of the game, though, I'm hoping that the hits we get will slow the game down to a degree where it's like I really like that Deep Savers tops Gen Con because I think Deep Savers is a deck that's indicative of where the pace of the game should be. Where it's like Deep Savers isn't a fast deck. It's like a turn 3 or 4. You build your setup and then you go into Aegis and then like kind of slowly win the game from there. But I think that's a healthy pace of a game. Whereas compared to like Growlmon Sakuya, who can like I don't know, turn 2 promote, here's a level 6, here's 2 free damage, and you're dead next turn if you don't interact with me. Also, I take myself off the board or I lock you out of on plays. It's like okay. Royal Knights isn't as fast, but it's also that inevitability. But the inevitability comes from multiple different sources, which I'm not a huge fan of. So like you put Omni X in underneath Drazzle, your wing con is just sitting there waiting for you to finding the mecha as well. I don't super know where I was going with this tangent, but like in terms of like hits, I only really have agreements with Omni at the moment. Everything else just seems fine. Like Puppets is fine.
Sure.
Cyber Sleuth is fair. Sorry, Galaxy is like fair as well. Okay, Galaxy Pure, Grace Nova. Like...
Yes, sir. I agree. I actually do agree. I just I don't know if you felt it from how far away are we? 8,000 miles, give or take. I don't know if you felt my legs shake when you said that, because I felt the internet get mad at you. And it was like an aftershock. Yeah. Hey, Tom, you've got a red dot on your forehead.
Right here. Please, I beg.
No, but you're completely correct. Like, sincerely, I actually agree. I think the terrible component to a lot of the gameplay that people disliked about Galaxy is an opportunity cost thing. Is Galaxy the best at just being the cheapest way to make obnoxious level 6 floodgates? Or is it the best at playing through like a revert to gain value game plan? So when that shifts and goes and stuff like that, I think things change. A lot of the heavy lifting is the new support, to be honest. The Lekismon is...
God, the Lekis is so good, bro.
Yeah, we might be. Yeah. But I agree with your assessment. I actually do. So if you're going to shoot him, you got to shoot me too. Which a lot of people would be totally chill with.
The sacrifices will have to be
buy
made.
one, get one free.
Yeah.
Buy Tom, get Tom free.
Yeah, for real.
Delete all with same name.
Yeah. Oh no, we do on Omni.
No. I think with Galaxy specifically, it's a stack deck in a world where wide meta decks are becoming better again. Mm-hmm. And if you're a stack deck, either you have to have rebuild the turn after you get removed, or you have to be able to play through a wide board or a board that tries to clear you. Because like, if you get removed as a stack deck and you're forced to rebuild, this is something I found with like the Cyber Sleuth piles, the regular Cyber Sleuth piles.
Mm-hmm.
You that off turn is killer. You do not get a chance to restabilize. Like,
yeah, it feels like we lost rebuild and we lost chip in the speed of the game. Like, chip used to matter a lot for like finding lines, but now it's like, oh, if I chip, there's a chance I hit one of 12 delay options or a tamer and lose the game on the spot. So like chip felt like recognizing when to chip felt like a skill that we haven't had for like the last 2-3 set, which kind of sucks.
I agree with that. Also, like, I feel like a lot of the cards nowadays do a lot where I'm not gonna say skill is less relevant, because obviously, you know, the best players will play into their lines better, but in some aspects, sometimes the cards do play themselves, and I feel like we're maybe getting a bit too much of that. But maybe that's just a me thing, and that's just like me.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, I was testing a particular brew of like a TDID list with DHM recently, and he had to look at a medieval, and he said to me verbatim, I wonder if I can just do enough not your turn actions to steal this from you. And by God, he did. So it's one of those things where, like, I think the combination of complexity and inherent synergy in archetypes has had, like, I think, rewarding implications on deck building and maybe frustrating implications on average gameplay. Like Andrew said about the chip and like the variations between formats, I think you guys are gonna like the docket here at court today. I think you're going to find some of it interesting. I think the other thing I'd like to add as my one little point, because to be honest, Tom explains my particular opinions on the format just about as well as almost anybody could. I think there are maybe 2 outliers he did not uncover. I think the kinds of aggro deck that are viable right now get to disregard risk reward again, which is the case for when like BT10 was really prevalent, like kind of looking at Crossheart BT EX4 again in some senses. Or like it was just accrue advantage, proceed to disregard opponent, which was just not a fun way to play Digimon. And second, there is a collection of cards. I've chosen to include one from each right now that I think have overstayed their welcome and created like a fake archetype system. So there are intended piles of cards that all happen to work together, and there are ones whose like inherent synergies of this game being 5 years old and them repeating game plans over and over again has finally come to roost. So without spoiling it, I think that covers basically everything in the format on my.
Alrighty.
And then there's some degen shit, but we'll talk about that.
All right. So to start things off, then we'll go and do our first. Thank you for the follow, Goat Boy. Our first criminal. If you're in chat watching live, you can defend them, and if you're, whoa, that is the 4th shot. Marcio's not here. If you're watching this post and you're wondering what we thought, you can defend them you'd be like, oh, free my mans. They only did eugenics and hate crime. What? Set to 1. Protoform X antibody.
Proto
We did this last time, and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and that beautiful Technicolor raincoat in between, I would like to insist upon myself that, like I said, there are a couple incidentally deeply fake archetypes that have survived in Digimon over the years, and none more egregious at the moment than red or purple X antibody. Some of them happen to be called Growlmon bottom end. Some of them happen to be called Dark Animal bottom end. Some of them might be birds on top, but what they all have in common is a guy called Cool Boy on hot dial and randomly 6 security.
You also forgot blue. Blue is like they've been.
The fake stuff's less egregious.
It's less egregious for now.
The thing I will give you this: gas exists, and we'll talk about gas as a consequence momentarily. I don't necessarily think it is blue Takemika. I know that is an opinion a couple people have expressed on the internet. I don't necessarily think it's gotten that bad.
People love saying color other deck that was problematic.
I think it has checks and balances. Yeah, I think it has checks and balances that are currently being exploited by other matchups. I think you guys would have a lot harder a time playing gas in a world where your mats don't stick because Galacticmon is back. But yeah, Shady Warner in chat says keeping this over Garuda X lets keep your X antibody 5s in their own archetype. I agree. I think a lot of them are like worth design space preservation. They do inherently useful things. One deck DHM and I have talked about, I have been kind of thinking about it nonstop actually. When I was putting this together last week, I realized, there's like a gap in the format, and like a couple good players I've talked to, I'm going to try and work it into some coaching next week. Is Lord Knight. It's not a secret. Lord Knight was like the crappy little purple brother of the 2 big purple level 6s you'd abuse. But Lord Knight and to a degree Mega Gargo is both stop you DNAing with Mega Knight. And in the context of like really needing to be able to pressure these decks that evolve on your turn or impact your game plan in a certain way, it's a pretty good time to have 2 or 3 different waves of support. And maybe that means we need to kill purple X antibody so Cool Boy Lord Knight isn't a deck anymore. Because if Lord Knight plays at another Dober X and then it protoforms to a Cerbex, I think I'll die.
Yeah, it's really not great. I mean, Moment's really shown it recently that draw 1, trash 1 with the additional recursion when you don't delete them. I think that's one of the most frustrating things about it in purple, because like purple is like, if you delete them, they get a million things back. Now it's like, I bounced the and he got his piece back. Oops.
Yeah, there's also something I think to be said for the fact that like there are a number of cards on the ban list from these like really degenerate X antibody stack decks that I think like this card does something to impact how frequently they play with one-ofs, that I'm ready to see it go, you know? I don't want to play through promo Growlmon again. I don't want to. You have to make it stop now.
It's like it's had its time, and I think if it wasn't any type of removal other than your thank God it's not everything. Like if your body's removed, I bounce it back, because you'd have so many instances where it's like pop my X antibody, recover 1, add a piece back. You know that kind of recursion is just insane.
Werewolf loop where you get to go plus ultra.
It would be insane, but like even then, the fact it's also like resolved off of battle. Is just kind of say. I think like the one thing is like the Alphamon players, or like specifically the pure Alphamon players, will like hate to see this go, because it has a nice synergy with like Oryukin Ace, and the Alphamon protection, being able to like protoform your piece back, then burn the protoform to protect it. That's like the only thing I would say is like unfortunate if this goes, but like I'm sure the Alphamon players will live with like the Kyoko Alpha build series.
I think it says a lot that the fact that we got Chronicles support and they were like, we're just not going to put another X antibody. Like if they want to preserve that one interaction,
they're strong X antibody.
Yeah, they were just like, what would be the point? Nothing we print will be better than Protoform.
Yeah, it's also like the inherent like future design space for Chronicles is the attacking or evolving while attacking, and like this card doesn't allow them to print more X antibody support. unless they can guarantee it's going to be using that gameplay metric. Like if they aren't going to do that stuff at like a vulnerable moment in attack, that either limits what they can give X antibody support to or limits what X antibody they can print. So it's just like it's a snake eating its own tail. They have to make a choice somewhere.
I picked this over X antibody options during attack step.
Yeah. Hitting Protoform makes royal base go from 47 bad cards to 49 bad cards. I did think of that. I did think of that. But listen, hear me out. You play Cool Boy and Royal Base. It will never trigger it, but it's a real cheap searcher. No, I think it's had a chance. And a couple of people, maybe my beloved Portuguese amigo has said, he would hate that I said that, actually, that's hilarious. Is EX5 was. But at least you guys all have event pack reprints that are cheap as chips now. Huh?
Yeah, like even if they were concerned about the secondary market, I feel like it's been, well, it probably hasn't been driven into the dirt because the card prints tops like nothing else.
I pulled one at Gen Con.
Nice. Definitely not worth what it was when people figured this out.
Not anymore. Yeah, I popped off. I had a Shadermon, not that much money anymore.
I have never paid for a Protoform in my life. All of them have been pulled.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Mine, I pulled 2 at the start of EX5 and went, I don't play X antibody. I don't give a shit about this card. And then one day you were like, yo, they're 20 quid. And I went, huh? Checked my binder, found 2, flipped them immediately. Then the event packs came out and I started casting and I have pulled like 7 since then. It's awesome.
Super rares from super rares from short printed EX sets are like this anyway. If you or any of your homies know what it's like to try and build Angels in 2025, you can sympathize. But this happens to be a really broken super rare, so it's even worse. It's just for the good of the game, it should go.
Yeah, it does recycle itself infinitely, which means it is kind of potentially sniffing from the map booth and may end up in super ultra jail. But
just
for now,
more security.
For now, that's
true.
I was going to say it was reserved for purple cards, but the other literally banned card is MDA. So you know what? Maybe good defense lawyer.
I think as well, like at worst, Protoform is it goes to top security, but then you know what is at top security, right? You can attack security when you're ready to, and you can choose what you attack with because it's not dying. There's like maybe something to talk about in that regard, but if this goes to 1 or even 2 is like a fair amount. I wouldn't be.
Well, we're a big fan of semi-limits here, gang.
Yeah. Easiest thing.
We love pulling numbers out of hats.
Right, we pull our next rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, you guys let us know in the chat how the jury feels about that one.
Wanted for child endangerment.
Guys, I don't know about this one. I think this guy's step 4. I think he's balanced, right? I mean, we're getting rid of Protoform, so this card's just bad.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get called a coper and a for that. So I don't think this is actually the most broken card in the current iterations, but it is the one that has to go first.
Yeah.
I think there are other cards that are inherently more toxic long term, but right now this one is too abusable in a wider array of game plans, and the game is still kind of reeling from like purple had. Like I think purple is a really interesting color to talk about in terms of like scope of its like strong decks. Purple had 1 year where it was good for a whole year straight. Then EX5 comes out, we get Leviamon, but the format really spins on its head because we get like Apocalypse Nume triangle games. Then BT16 comes out, purple takes a little bit of a backseat. Our ban list releases, purple comes back. Purple has not recovered fully to like the full big long year of dominance, like a Growlmon engine enabled. And this is as close as it's gotten to that. And they, for the sake of not letting it happen again, they have to stop this card. It's not just that it's like, draw one trash one's broken in an archetype like this. Yeah, the on delete recursion is bananas. Yes, the inherit is too much role compression for this. It's intended archetype and it's a bad thing to give to other archetypes. But all of that aside, this is about as bad a future design space restriction as you could print on any purple level 5 ever made. That's my 2 cents. So I love him. I have 4 shiny ones in a binder. I'm going to have to play with one of them soon.
I mean, I said at this when I topped Pontypool. So this is like not when Growlmon X came out, But when like the Megi piles had just like this was when like the Moment had made his Megi pile. I had tested the Megi pile that I was taking to Pontypool. Like me, you, and Jambo were looking at it and like, what if we just slam free Grav Cushion, which I'm assuming is going to pop up in this list as well.
Yes, sir.
But I said at Pontypool, this card needs to get hit because it does so much, and it has continued to do so much for so many different decks. Like we've seen so many iterations of Growl Loop's deck where they've taken War Growl out and just played like a Gallant Zoo top end. They put Birds level 5 and 6 on top of it. The pile that was running the Dark Animal package and Cerberus in Madrid is it's also just like been used for other like quote unquote bad purple decks as a this is my Otismon deck.
Yeah. Millennium, Lord Knight.
I don't know. Whatever Yu-Gi-Oh engine is stupidly broken. I can't think off the top of my head. Anyway, the point is
shout out to the Yummies.
Yeah, Yummies. K9 is currently like really good at the moment. Yeah, there's just so much that this card does on top of like using Cool Boy, Proto Form, conjunction with all the Guilmons. Yeah, the more like I've said this from the beginning, the card is insane. The one thing I will say is that hitting this card will stop all of those piles, but more importantly, I don't think it hurts Gallantmon as much as those, which is where I'm kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing this go to 1, because sure, losing the consistency in the draw 1 trash 1 hurts for Gallantmon, but they never really cared about the deletion effect, because realistically, you're making Gallant X and potentially never dying.
Yeah, it's a deck that literally gives itself protection. So like it's like an absolute something went really, really, really wrong.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we don't have to necessarily worry about losing the other X antibody helps as well. Like obviously the Garuru piles lost Garurumon and Gabumon in the same ban list. But like realistically, yes, you're gonna lose the consistency of the Growl X, but you're still keeping a very, very X antibody rookie.
Gentlemen, I'm getting word from the court official that we may come to regret what we're talking about right now.
I see.
You know what? If they both go, then I think as well it just course corrects Gallantmon. I don't know about you guys. Like I'm sick of seeing Gallant piles that are no Takato.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want Takato back in the deck. I want to play Gallantmon. I don't want to play Red X antibody.
Yeah, I get it. I had a lot of fun playing TDID, like the last couple things I've taken it to, but like it is a collection of value pieces and not like the game plan that you kind of develop an attachment to over years of playing it. Gallant X is my favorite, most underpowered secret rare Gallantmon ever printed. That's my 2 cents. It's a tricky one though. Right. Yeah, the other, as Alias said in the chat, it does present an issue in that like if you play it in archetype, there are other ways to recur this card, but like necessarily is playing it in archetype a justification for giving this card a little bit extra strength? Like maybe we should screw over, a Mostim on bottom end borrowing Growl X. Maybe it's okay for Gigimon to have unique advantages there. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I would like to biomerge. I want to biomerge. And the woke took it from me. Guys, I warned you standing up was going to be a weird episode.
I mean, we've had so many people say Growl X to 1, like selfless planetary card. Yeah, there's no way you put this on.
Speaking of tamers on Takato.
Yeah, this does appear to be, oh God, is that 1999's most terrible, infamous drug smuggler analog youth? I mean, sincerely, what the hell are they doing here? Wow.
He's propped up every mid-purple deck for like 53 purple decks have been held up by this one card. I'm sorry, Andrew.
No, because look, he literally, like, he's cleaned up so well. And he's really cleaned up his act, like 2 alt arts You wouldn't take this strapping young lad off the streets.
This is
yeah. 4 playsets now of.
I'm banning this card because I want my one alt art from EX1 and I want it cheap. Yeah,
this man is also this man. There you go.
Right. Oh, we're meta manipulators here on Misplay. Tom is like sincerely actually advocating for making the card game fun, but Andrew and I are going to run a bad tournament in October, and we need people to do dumb stuff for content.
Yes, sir.
No,
leave the boy alone. We're getting like 10 purple decks next set. He's gotta go.
Yeah. Maybe they'll print other good things that each deck can use. No, we should talk seriously. Analog Youth. Analog Youth is one of those cards that sometimes they just write for the sake of it. It has been good for too long. Sometimes they say that. They hit Jet Sophie because of that. They hit another thing that I can't remember right now. They hit Venus, or no, what do they hit in the Venus stuff? They hit Sunrise Buster for the same thing. They were like, yeah, this was better than we thought it was going to be. Analog Youth's been better than they thought it was going to be the whole time. And it gets worse every time.
He costs 2. Some Bandai wants you to believe that the new one also doesn't cost 2, but it costs 2.
Yeah, that card cost. I gained $6. But nobody plays DM. Shout out to Chimeramon. Oh my god! Listen, you guys haven't done the set review yet, but Emperor is. I got a lot of things to talk about Digimon Emperor at a later date. Analog Youth. Yeah, so the primary issue I think a lot of people feel about Analog Youth is it is too variable. It is a blind shotgun that if you rip one off the top on turn 1 and you hit the best trash you've ever had in your entire life, sometimes the game wins. And it's not a particularly exciting game plan to have your opponent go, do they have it? Can I keep up? The can I keep up question gets worse when the egg thing comes into play, because there are a lot of things we've talked. Bandai has been pretty clear about like gameplay pace stuff where it's like they hit the promo Ukomon and Louis because they were like, yeah, this accelerated early game in a way that we weren't a big fan of. Analog Youth extends the combo decks, and right now they're all real good. And in a world where they just aren't, if your deck isn't the big 3 right now, that's not a bad deck. I want to be abundantly clear while we talk about this. Imperial, Galacticmon, Leviamon, Adventure, jump in if I'm missing, a Machinedramon. Like, there are a great variety of tier 1.5 to tier 2 archetypes right now that can and will be able to get mileage out of some of this when the big guys take a knock. And this is a future-proofing thing. So
it's also just
yeah.
I was
gonna say I'm just freaking sick of looking at the little schmuck.
That is a good way to finish the thought. It's just cropped up in so many decks a lot in a long time. Like, it's popped up in Fenrir. I use it to top Pontypool. I also use it to top Bandai Cardfest with birds. It just like keeps cropping up, but I feel like it keeps like falling out of relevance when the before the ban list starts.
It's frustrating, huh? I thought I had the exact same thought.
He's got like a police radar on him, so he's like, yeah. they're doing what now?
He's using guys. He's using drug mules to smuggle. They get caught instead.
That's it. That's why he's avoided it for so
long.
long.
Growlmon X was a fool guy.
Isn't it curious how Analog Youth left the Growlmon X decks when he started to get good?
Yeah, curious. Weird. Well, he had to go home and see DM, so you wouldn't ban a guy from a mid-tier 2 deck, would you, Tom?
You're so right.
Yeah. It's so interesting because you can see from it being an early card, they're like, oh yeah, when your level 5 dies or, stuff happens, we're going to use this as a chance to help you rebuild. And now it's like, all right, strap a bomb to your chest and get in there, level 5.
I have wondered, one of the things we had when I started putting this together was I thought about maybe even making a thing for cards I think would be better errata than banned. And I think there's a case for Analog Youth getting either your turn or opponent's turn. I don't know about, I think maybe there was a moment somewhere along the way where the all turns take a memory hatch and egg became a little egregious.
Oh, Dex. Dex was the other deck I was thinking of, where there's like, yeah, you die.
Yeah.
I was going to gain memory.
Thank you very much.
I don't mind if I do.
Yeah. It's the efficiency too. If you give a shit about your discard pile, which is weird because it's not like the thematic of this card has always been that in Digimon World, you can get up to ultimate, and when it dies, you get a Digi-Egg and you start over. When a level 5 dies, you get a Digi-Egg. Like, that was the game plan.
Yeah,
so why it trashes doesn't feel, it feels slightly disjointed in a way that like the later DM stuff does a good job rectifying.
I feel like it might have been a symptom of like maybe purple not being where it was, and it was like early Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, oh,
for sure,
to the graveyard, that's the cost. You're getting this really cheap tamer that finds you a thing and will give you rebuild, but you're gonna lose some cards if you reveal that. And now it's like it does.
I agree. I agree to an extent. When this card came out, BT5 and BT6 were still kind of knock-on consequences, and Chaos Gallant was still pretty legit.
Bruh.
So
crashing is Bandai telling you what Digimon did with the Digi-Eggs you didn't choose.
That's true.
It's like Pokemon. You pick your starter, but instead of like your rival picking one, Digimon just like takes them out back.
That's why
Professor Oak was like, "Thank God I needed an omelet stat."
Thank God for Yuxo. He's the only real Digimon fan out there. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say about this little treacherous freak? Or
yeah, get him out of here. I'm sick of it.
All I'm saying is there better be another 2-cost criminal that's coming with him. I want them posted up against the wall. And that is not one of them, but you know,
we'll find the other one, I'm sure.
Illegal animal testing was exactly what it got done for last time.
Dude, it's only gotten worse. Actually, it's a wider pool of animals now too. He's trying to make Killer Croc out of Batman. No, I mean, there's not. This card represents a different problem than actually just the X antibody files. This card is like, there was a little while where people like to talk about like your archetype has a target level 5 that like does a main or does an on player, or does it whatever its thing was, it defined your power. This card's power turn changed depending on what you felt like it should do on any particular expansion. Sometimes this card's power turn is I floodgate the opponent. Other times this card's power turn is I set up an OTK. And I think when they design these things, they maybe could consider, in the same way that we talk about Galaxy, maybe this could have said level 3 Sharkanum or Mammal or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd be kind of difficult.
Does Labramon have dog or whatever?
It's beast. The problem I found when looking at stuff like that is level 3s are just like whatever you see, that's what you get. That's a mollusk, yes. That's a dog, that's the thing. They don't start being real archetypes until they hit champion, which I think speaks to the volume of kind of like how Digimon is supposed to be like, hey, look at this thing, it can turn into anything and become something and get really focused. But as a result, it makes it really, really difficult to recur rookies because they can't write 55 different things that it can pick back up. You can see it in the Anubis piles, like the Labras can't pick themselves up because they're not dark animals, they're
for sure
dogs. Beast.
Yeah. The other component to this as well is like I think it broadly gestures to like I talked about it a lot in the last Banlist video, and Marcio agreed a touch, but he did not particularly, I think, upfront think like, oh yeah, this is the #1 issue I have with the format.
Marcio had bought stocks in Levia, so he like really needed to.
He was doing a little bit of meta manipulating. No, I think it's too good with generics, and I think the problem about this archetype is it represents like a gameplay pace that is not sustainable long term, because Purple level 3 Digimon can do a lot more when they continue to print more diverse archetypes. Purple, despite what I used to complain about, is not just draw one, trash one anymore. It happens to be really good right now again, but there are other ways you can build it. And I think there are some serious considerations that come from the fact that like, if other decks have to commit huge resource pools, this specific card should not be able to like, in completeness, cover basically every archetype's low end, but stronger.
Yeah, one of the other things as well is the card has gotten stronger with support, which, you know, was intended. Like the Cerberus giving rush really didn't used to mean anything, but like, now your body that you are playing is a rush heal. Yes, it's a 2-card combo, but like if you, in theory, if Rush Guilmon was run over by a 4x4, Cerberus X does basically give you turn anything into a rush heal. Which which is a lot better when the thing that had rush was Psychmon. So no, I mean I was fine with this dog getting shot, especially if we're going to be taking out the other engine, I think it's pretty important to take the wheels off the alternate Camaro.
What do you think, Tom? You got anything kind left in your heart to say about the dogs?
Kindness left many, many tournaments ago. No, I think it's as well as if you hit Proto form as well as Cerberus X, it just like eliminates any possibility of a Dark Animal package being like really good. Like, because in theory, if you let's say you leave this at 4 but take out Proto form, you still have regular X antibody that still gives them all of their like on plays and ability to recur pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think you can just hit both and just say, all right, we're done with it. You can run Dober X if you really, really want to, but you're not getting a free body and rush. If you want to play Leviamon, you have to play Shaco X, or whatever, Giso X. You're gonna play the mid cards. Actually, no, those cards are mid. They're pretty good, but
they're quietly pretty crazy. Yeah.
A Protoform and a Cool Boy goes a long way in a concrete pile.
Yeah. But we'll see. Like I said, oftentimes when we bring these cases to trial, we don't think everything's getting hit. We're just calling a couple shots.
Okay.
Shots.
Yeah.
I have to push back on this one.
Go ahead.
I don't think they'll hit it.
No, I actually don't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
there are two things. There are two things I think.
There's only one. It's the guy on the left.
Yeah.
He's the problem. You just rip the card in half and just play with like half a card, then it's balanced.
They didn't write enough words on it. No. I know everybody's said it a million times, but if they're gonna print like a conceptually expanded like Light Fang Nightclaw bottom end potential, like Time Strangers is coming out, and like not to just be my great friend Mr. Minikill likes to talk about like what can you infer from like stuff that's been teased and things like that, and sometimes he gets a little excited about like, well, it's going to be overpowered. It's like, man, you haven't seen a card yet. And I do it too. So I am a touch concerned about a game where Coronamon and Lunamon are primary characters, and the full suite of Olympus 12 represent options you could cheat evolutions into. Anytime you get a set around crazy strong level 6s, this card should be something you think about. We happened to get away with it with Machine, but when we had the Royal Knights pop back up, some of those guys started doing some things in here. So it's a complicated arrangement. I don't necessarily think the deck is overperforming at any particular level. I think Galaxy Toolbox is like a middlingly successful archetype right now. It has some placements from players who are trying to optimize it currently, but going forward, there's a shit ton of Digivolve in the game right now.
For me, I feel like he's kind of like, this is putting our kind of like all points bulletin out there that this guy should be on a government watch list. I don't think he's getting shot with this one. I think they could shoot him right as Time Stranger comes out. Like, I feel like there's too long before the Time Stranger set for them to just take this guy out back right now. Especially because, like, he's not the one that is doing the turn skip. This card's just annoying. It would also be really funny if this card just placed itself in the battered area instead of being an on-play out of security that accidentally sometimes turns into a security bomb.
Or you should have to keep turn to do it.
Oh, no, I just meant, like, I've had games where the win condition is I have to hit Koh and Sayo and I get to revert on their turn.
Yeah, that is true too.
So if this card just placed itself in the battle area instead of having it full on play, that'd be.
Or just print it like on play by suspending this tamer if it is your turn. That's all. Like, it's an errata, but this is the card. It's like you were saying before, like some cards need errata. This is one of them. Like, print some more text on this card and you fix it entirely.
This card's got a great lawyer, so I don't think we're gonna get it this time. But if it misses too many probation meetings between now and February,
I agree with Andrew. It has to stay until the Time Stranger set starts getting revealed, and then they can go, right, here are the new cards for the deck. Here's how you get into Grace Novamon, and here's how you play the line normally. We're getting rid of the EX5 cards now. Goodbye.
Yeah, like that. And it's also really helped by the fact that its evil twin is a straight up filthy war criminal, like wanted in 95 states. Like we're making new states just to get this guy on an additional government.
Yeah, they're gonna have to come in chains later so that we know we're worried they might bite someone here in the courtroom.
Yeah. There's not really much more that needs to be said. He probably will make his way out, but this guy is not seeing the pearly gates.
I don't know, guys. It does say lose 2 memory. Wait, sorry, that's an optional test. Never mind.
Yeah, I actually want to make my case here that, like when we recorded the previous one of these, we said that there's an egregious gang on the loose, and we only caught 1 or 2 of them. There's not many of them left now, and maybe we should just, for the sake of it, bring Parabolic Junk in for questioning, just to be careful. Tropical Venom, maybe keep a private investigator.
Tropical Venom has as many tops as Parabolic. I just want you to know.
Yep, I know.
And that number is not 0 for either of them. For those of you who haven't been watching the podcast, yeah, both of those, the ones that were like are bad, have tops now. So I really think Elysian is going to be really funny to see what everyone's doing now that everyone knows these cards are broken.
4 HVD, 4 Tropical Venom. Green's going to be the most toxic color for like the first 3-4 sets.
Growlmon Alt as well, so you can flex your max rarity nonsense.
Does the black set have any self deletion?
No, it just blocks.
No, okay.
It just blocks, yeah. Okay. The extent to which I think Parabolic has had any success in any Elysian stuff I saw was like, it's like a good way to use your chump level 5s in Mega Zoo. Because Mega Zoo was good in Elysian, by the way. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that makes sense,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, shit, man, I'm sick of it. I mean, is anyone still, like, normally I would entertain that, like, there are maybe future design space things that, like, oh, like, what does this do for the game if we lose all these, like there's a trade-off. It's just, Digimon's not, like, I promote and pass turn, like, it's time for them to go.
There's a good question in chat of, like, why it took so long for people to, like, realize that this card is busted. It's not necessarily that people took so long to realize it was busted. It's that the times it was good were niche or other cards were better. So like Red Hybrid was using this card for like disgusting purposes.
All on. Yeah.
I would say it was on really fragile. It's like red has always been an inconsistent color. Now that you have draw 1, crash 1, and you know when X antibodies are good, people have realized like hybrid didn't draw a lot, and if it did, it was searching. So you were bot decking these off of a search if you were running them. They were basically an unrevealed like, all right, finishing move. You get hit by double grab crush and you go, damn, unlucky. But now it's like, all right, they've drawn 15 cards.
They probably have at least 1 in hand.
Yeah, there's probably at least 1.
I like when I was watching Madrid regionals, it was like I'll call it the mirror. It wasn't the mirror. It was the Cerbex Growl pile versus regular Growl pile. I watched the Cerb pile play through Medieval, 1 memory, nothing in raising, dropped 3 grab crush and won the game. Like from like 4 or 5 security as well. Like the card has had like a renaissance of usage. It also like helps that Jack Raid, Hammer Spark, HPD. Is there another broken
Blinding Ray?
Blinding Ray is the one I always think of is the 2 memory equivalent.
They're all at 1. So Grab Crush is like the only one that's like notably at 4. Parabolic Junk obviously, but like it's had Abado recently to make like waves with that deck.
I don't necessarily think those ones should stay at 1 either. Just to be clear.
I think Parabolic should get hit. Abado's not Omega Giga broken, but like there will be a deck later down the line which is like black self deletion, and people will just be like, oh, 4 Parabolic Junk, I will win the game.
Hell, man, we're 1 good D Brigade wave away, right? Like,
or a Numemon. Another Numemon.
Yeah, just for God's, and you can scramble a Numemon and then thingy it. Like,
throw 3 Parabolic Junk on there and then
watch it roll. I do get that people like to get a chance to play with their tool first, but if you can get rid of something to provide the chance to have a new thing out that's more like intelligent, or not intelligent, that's maybe not the right word, thoughtfully designed, I think that is a worthwhile trade-off, like for the overall health of the game at all levels of play, by the way. Because I don't, like, it sucks in tournament when this happens, but I bet you it sucks at little Timmy's house when his friend playing War Grandma has 8 memory, right? Like, it's just not a fun thing anymore.
I also think people saw the lose 2 memory and the no security option as maybe reasons not to run it, because like yeah, okay, it gets hit out of security, and it's a nothing. It does literally nothing. And then if you don't win the game, you lose. Oh, you lose 2 memory, or lose 4 if I use more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Blinding
Shouldn't
Ray
give a
was
fuck.
like, Blinding Ray was the thing that made people really go, so the cost is kind of like, it's glass half empty versus glass half full. And Blinding Ray really, you know, that photography, that glass is half full. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what more do we need
The
to
other
say
thing is
about
like
the worst card
the
of the game?
shift. Yeah, the shift comes around right now. I think like it's one of those things where like people like, oh, why did it take so long to come around on this? It's like it's just your opportunity cost just shifts. If when you lose Jack Raid, this becomes more tempting and things. Like there are probably cases where people are looking at still finding ways to squeeze in stuff like that. So for the sake of the game, if it's 0 memory, gain memory, I don't know if it should be in Digimon anymore.
No, because people just still run the 1 copy anyway. People still run the 1 copy of Jack Raid.
Yeah, they do. It's Steel's game. I mean, it's disturbed. Make it go away.
Halfway through and manslaughter. This was
my favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't get him last time, but I never give up. I never give up. I'm a hero like that. I go for it every day of the week. This card was wrote up in a lab to be concocted for absolute sickos. People that just all they want to do is flip their rolling dice, send it off, and see, I'm going to bet the house on black. And when the other guy loses $2 million, they walk away with a check. This card's for deviants. It's dishonest. It's deceitful. It's a product of like a, well, we have to put him in because he was in the movie moment. This card could have said Rapidmon, and it would have been gone in a week.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Why is the best card in the structure deck that I was most excited for not a Terriermon piece?
Sincerely,
you should blame Willis, and you should blame English localization of the Digimon movie.
No, I in a serious moment, I don't think there are a lot of people that have criticisms of things like Magna X. There are a lot of people who have criticism of things like Armor Rush, but the card that ties it all together in a way that is perhaps poorly thought out for the future of that archetype is the like random security bomb that is most notably also the best Magnamon. So when you find this on turn 2 or turn 3 and you don't care about making a 12k level 4, this one contests the board the best. And as complexity in Digimon increases, you resolve that when digivolving better every time.
It is interesting as well.
Every
in
time.
The absence of Blinding Ray, this card gets a lot better because before it not being yellow did matter for like, oh, this turns off my ability to, you know, unseeable memory extend. But this card trades with megas pretty frequently. Kind of not normal. It says a lot. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, it's for the best that Royal Knights do not have a space for this card. Looking forward to seeing what Hacker's Slumber is gonna put for Magnamon, because you know we're due another one, and maybe they'll shoot this one out of a cannon. I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I think people would have a lot nicer things to say about everybody's favorite big beefy friend Magna X if it didn't come with a little guy shooting a Tommy gun.
I don't know. I feel like most people actually just like stonewall focus on the Magna X. I feel like it's like the bell curve of like when you're new to the game,
Yeah,
you're like,
that's true.
man, I hate Magna X. When you're getting better, it's man, I hate this card. And then when you come back down, it's man, I hate Magna X.
Yeah. Listen, if you hate Magna X, learn puppets. That's it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Whole story. Arissa was built in a lab. Arissa, real recognized real. She's the only human being to ever live who hates Vmon as much as I do.
Nice attack, idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you one day, Magnamon, you slimy rat.
Yeah!
Oh, dearie me.
Get it out of here.
Yeah.
I hate this card.
Honestly,
I put this one in here for you, amigo.
When you said miraculous, at first I was thinking the Omnimon option instead, and then I went, wait, there is a way more offensive Omnimon option. Yeah, this card, it's this or Omni X. Kill one of them. I feel like they're not killing Omni X, so kill this one.
No, it'll be Purge. Or like Drazel if they want to make a new Drazel, but I don't think
Drazel? That's, oh my God, that's so interesting. I've just gotten a confirmation. Sorry, thank you, court hearing. It appears that we're getting notice to semi-limit Drazzle. That's
Wait a
thank
minute.
you, sir. I appreciate your time here in the court today. Yeah, semi-limit Drazzle. I apologize, Your Honor. I didn't have time to prepare the graphics, but
was that
Yggdrasil? I don't know what you're talking about. Might have been a resemblance. Yeah, Drazzle the 2, gang. What do we think?
We can also get rid of Purge as well at the same time. Just hit them all.
Yeah, get rid of Purge as well. Drazzle at 2 is weird because they're printing a new one. So the ability to mix and match might be fun. The problem I'm thinking is they're going to get 5 eggs. So if they're remotely similar, we're going to have a bit of a problem there.
0.
Yeah, they just speed it up by a turn.
0.
Rather than semi-limit, let me propose just get rid of BC13 Drazzle entirely. Just ban it. Get it out of here as well.
It's a beautiful vision.
Just
you
prune
live
the tree entirly.
Yeah, like just
stop pruning it. Cut it down.
Cut it down. Cut it down. Yeah. Pour like spray it with poison just to make sure it's really dead.
Put concrete on top of it just to be safe.
Just plow it down. Because like if the new Drazzle is like okay, no one's gonna play it, right? No one's gonna be like, I could get this really cool, neat interaction with new Drazzle. But what if I just like win the game on old Drazzle instead?
Yeah, be an interesting one.
Yeah,
I'm apprehensive. I keep hearing about this new Drazzle. I think it's an interesting assumption we've all made that we think it's going to be a Digi-Egg. I think Bandai had thrown us weird changes to things like that in the past. I don't want to say like mode. Yeah, or like we'll get a tamer card.
A lava mode would be actually really cool for it if they wanted to take it in that direction.
There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with the Royal Knights, whether they tie it to Hacker's Memory or not, and they really nail it down.
Unfortunately, they decided to do this with it.
Yeah. I don't have this is their like. I remember Fire Rocket Knights being a major concern among my testing circle for about a month and a half.
Yep.
Because it was very obvious that if you just made this and had Fire Rocket, you were kind of going to win the game. And that's going to be true for this deck forever. You can just do that now. Omni X works with this thing. Like this card on Omni X in a stack and a Crimson mode in hand. Like this card has people choice restricting Drazzle and Crimson mode in their heads, or like Omnimon, BT13, and Alphamon where you can ace. Like it's just this dude does things to the game. This card. It's like taking 2 turns at once.
Yeah, like when this card just facilitated, it gives you a blast target, or it's just an extra body that gets to come back or something, or it's a chip with something. That was fine. Now this card potentially says take 2 damage, and if there's another deeply evil Royal Knight tagged option card, take 4 damage.
Sometimes it just says win the game. Like I fit this out as a curiosity on loss on the spot.
Yeah.
I agree with your point. When it was just like, I don't know, load a Leopardmon, load a Craniumon, load something that you just want to reduce the next cost by 1. Yeah, fine. And then plays out Leopardmon. Then Leopardmon plays out whatever for reduced cost. Cool. But now it's just like with the quality of cards that Royal Knights have gotten, it's now you're not playing Leopardmon, you're not playing Craniumon. You probably should be playing All Force Beegamon, but some people aren't because people will see it and go, "Oh, ho hum, bad card," because it doesn't read, or you can ace Gallantmon. Yeah, the quality of cards that Royal Knights have got, this has now become too problematic because it does just genuinely just to steal games. Yeah. Like you can play out Omni X, swing with Omni X, drop Crimson mode, ace, have it swing, and then win the game on the spot.
Unironically, if this thing cost 5 instead of 3, because you had a semi-limited Drazzle, it might even be still too good. It's one of those. They'll never stop printing support for Royal Knights. So here it is. Oh, animal cruelty. That's weird. Andrew, did you put this here?
Yeah. So it was one of those.
Set to 2.
set to 2.
God no.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
So
get her gone.
The VOD has been deleted, but I once saw Nokia kick her dog lizard thing.
he had me at gunpoint when he told me to put this in the graphic.
Yeah, this was like what did you have? I was like, oh, I've got my funny one, and then just like right before he's like, all right, I was like, kill Nokia, hit her with a bus.
He made me put Gatekeeper on the last one, Tom. You got to understand, my family are here.
So,
like, I'm so happy for the Optimum fans, right? I think it's really cool that the deck is really strong. I am just so sick of DNA piles being so miserable to play against. This is the new hit Daiken out security and the game on the spot.
Because Daiken, the funniest thing was, at the very least, it wasn't like there was the illusion that you could memory choke Imperial, and then they would be like, "Oh, guys, I have to find my tool level 4." Anyway, here's half of the cake mix. We've got pre-mixed cake for you. If you just put the sprinkles in, you can say that you baked the cake. And Nokia, like, she shows up and puts the easy bake in the oven for you and goes, "Here you go. Here's 3 memory. You've got this. You just need to find 2 pieces, and it's all yours. You can even lick the spoon when you're done."
Sometimes when we do these, I'm not going to pull the Wizard of Oz curtain back or anything, guys, but we might be engaging a little bit of Rick rate, if you know what I'm saying. And necessarily the numbers you see here on the poster might not represent the official thoughts of Misplay for Game or any particular compassionate stasis we might take on this. But I do think it's dumb that she gets to on-play the Searcher Gabumon and then it survives on the turn. So, oopsies.
Yeah, you can tell they really pretended to limit this card. They were like, if you've got 2 or fewer guys, you can play one of them for free in the deck that needs 2 guys.
Anyway, do you have 1 Omnimon on board? Well, you can get to making a second one, because here's an extra body.
The funniest thing about this is because she is a memory setter, in theory, you could, on an empty board, she plays 1 for your free search, and then you free search, you then pay 3 memory to say, oh, you've still got 3 memory. That's so interesting. How did you get 3 memory?
Or 2 off of Mega Knight, and they go from trash that way.
Oh yeah, she's both color sources for Mega Knight. They should have made this card mono white.
Yeah, when they talk about those implications, it's like when Ty and Matt were the only way to trigger Mega Knight, and you weren't guaranteed to have the number to keep turning off doing Mega Knight. It made Matt Ty EX4 more valuable. I played Omnimon at Glasgow in BT17, and like the game of like when you trigger Mega Knight and like when you return the memory from the Matt Ty was like an actual sort of game you had to think about. Like it was matchup dependent. Mattered against the Ancients quite a lot. It no longer matters. You just, if you've got it, you fire that thing from the hip. It's crazy.
I think that's why people are losing their mind. On top of Alter S, which is like another problem, but it's more of an extension of the cards already being good.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that the deck was like basically nothing until it's had an amount of support that has made it what it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate
crazy facelift.
Omnimon fans are eating. What I'm like mostly upset at is how it has got to this point. Like this card and the like everything that has made the deck like super efficient for me has made it really like boring and lame to play against. Like you say, it doesn't matter about like thinking about how to resolve Matt and what time to do it before like your opponent makes Omnimon, and it's like, okay, this is really cool. I've taken 3 damage, but they've given me 4 memory to play the game and retaliate with. This time it's lucky if you get 3. Like it's lucky if you get any more than whatever mem set you get put down. They can choke you now. They can actually just choke you from Nokia Matt.
Yeah, there are Omnimon boards that can generate too much memory to use. There are like one of this, and then like, you know, or God forbid 2 of this, and you don't even have to promote. And then a handful of Matt Ties is 11, right? Like, think about what that actually means in terms of rooting a combo. This deck is training wheels because of this card.
It's
complicated.
Really strange because theoretically, this card could exist if the Agumons were still bad. the Agumon also being recursion. So if you ever clear, you know, before it's like, oh, they miraculous back the body. That's kind of annoying. Now it's like, if you ever clear anything or they're missing a piece and you hit it in security, Nokia play new Agu pick up the missing piece full combo is just a reality you have to live with. Before, like, if it was still just the start of main Agumon and it's like, right, I have to load this in the back and I have to promote this in order to pick up the piece I'm missing, then go. Cool. Now it's replay search, recur whatever I'm missing, go. And it's what were they thinking?
There's the new Matt Tai from EX9 as well. Does the same thing. Some back pieces too.
Gabumon's a double search. BT12 Agumon wished it was.
Yeah,
like they have their searcher now.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging one. One of the things about this card that I think a lot of people have talked about is like it has conceptually its counters become better if the big three fall off. Like Galacticmon would love to get a crack at this, but I
don't think Galacticmon has time.
I think that's true to an extent. I think Galacticmon has advantages in some of the matchups against like a Wargreymon like three-way, or Wargreymon Belgarumon like three-way bluff board. It'll never trigger an ace. But there's one fewer areas to like play through that I think is interesting. And then like in the world where some of the game slows down, there are things like Alter B that they can play for each other to each other over, which I think is something cool. There are also like, you know, other more like efficient ways to. I mentioned Lord Knight earlier. You're really sick of that. Deep Sabers, same thing.
God. Deep Sabers into this is so good.
Yeah, there are things exist, guys. It's just that they're probably not as good against the Kuyamon.
Also, if you look at this card really closely and turn it upside down, you see where she's highlighting her fingers. If you go like this, you'll realize this card actually costs 2 when you use Island of Adventure and you put the gun face up on the table and go, if you want, you can pull the trigger and I will say that I wasn't here. I was at
but I'm saving my Island of Adventure for an Alter SOTK.
Yeah, but you could just put one gun on the table and then kind of flash the second one on the hip. And you can show them there are all 6 bullets in the trigger and still go,
yeah.
Chance.
My bad, chat. I forgot I had 2 guns.
USA.
Right. Also, one of them is Gen Con. Why does it not spin?
Yeah, there's no thought to this. I forgot to title this one. This isn't even a joke.
Just wanted.
Listen, it's really broken. If you don't know yet, it's really broken. And they're not going to hit the promo that helped break it. They're certainly not going to hit the Zenith, which is exceptionally broken. Nor will they hit the Galacticmon, which is just about the only like unique gameplay like finisher we have in that set. So, Fusionize. Fusionize means that they might actually. Don't even joke.
They have to find the one.
No, if they hit Fusionize, it means they have to give a shit about where their Galactic is. That's they can't get away with. I saw lists playing 2. 2 of your boss monster is like a greed unbefore seen outside of the Bible. You can't get away with that, but they were. And I think Fusionize represents like a flexibility this deck was allowed when it was kind of crummy and had like more counters, and now it no longer has those. Yellow's still real good. Again, if you don't like this deck, Nyaboot, you know. But also, their flexibility in rebuild can be a little taxing. So I'm sympathetic to the idea that maybe for the future space of like a Vemmon emblem, maybe there should be some. Maybe there should be some concern.
Do you think we're actually going to get an emblem for Vemmon? I feel like Close is taking the black spot.
I feel like Fire Emblem Engage had evil emblems, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, maybe Zenith has a change of heart, you know?
I don't know. Maybe I just feel like it's either him or Unchained is taking like the bad guy spot.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Cool Boy Emblem would be another challenge. No, but I think seriously that this card is it's from a time before this deck was allowed to like change its pace, and I think with the change to Digimon that's coming and the changes over time, like maybe some color identity of not letting this deck just do all of its combos from the discard pile for 0 might be in our best effort.
I think it's a slightly less talked
about. Also return them.
Like obviously, like Galacti was incredibly broken, and then it's like, oh, its worst matchup is Digimon, then become incredibly popular, so it basically dropped off a cliff. If the goal is to bring the game back down to a certain tempo, Galactimon still very good, just slightly too slow. So when it's the same speed as everyone else, it will be the deck to talk about if Royals gets hit.
I don't want to talk for you two, but I think the safest bet of everything we've talked about today is that somewhere or another the Growlmon piles are getting blown up.
It's topped too many events.
Yeah,
there's just
and
no
so
way.
If that's the shirt,
wait, we're back. Hello, gang, gamers. I guess we're back. Hello.
Oh, we lost Superman. We only had him for like 2 minutes. He's gonna go save the world.
So we were in the process of talking about how our good friend, Growlmon X, the game has sped up a lot. Everyone's reducing play costs. Sakuya's basically not even paying their Evo cost at this point. So I think Growlmon, who, Agumon and Omnimon, they're not even using Growlmon anymore. So that reduction's really not even that big a deal. So after talking to a bunch of people, it is of the jury's opinion that Growlmon X antibody should come off of the limited.
I agree.
And we should send him to super hell. Get him banned to 0.
Did someone say super hell? Turn that C into a H and get up on the hopium. We'd never make Digimon worse on purpose. Hey, it's me, Superman.
Hi, Superman.
Yeah, we redid this bit. It was way funnier the first time.
Yeah, guys, I had to... The Twitch exploded.
Yeah, hopefully we're back, but at the very least it says...
Lex Luthor hit it with the kryptonite beam.
Yeah, he does that. He's a bad dude. Hey, I love this darn dinosaur, but he is a bad man.
But trading, guys, trading exists. That means it's fine, right? Trading exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trading is just kind of but better.
Those are equivalent, I think. They're the same, in fact. I remember reading the same words.
They do, in fact, do the same thing. Ignore Cool Boy still existing with this card being an X antibody.
Ignore EX10, which comes out in like 4 weeks and has a taunt on a level 5 compared to 2 for 1.
Yeah, the inclusion of new Agumon cards really just like make this one. He can never come close. If you really want reduction, play Deltamon. Just deal with it.
Play bad.
Yeah. Oh, enjoy your slop, piggies.
But yeah, if you still think that this card can come back, I'm
Bye,
sorry.
Man.
Yeah, see you later, Tom. Be good for Christmas.
Will do.
Guy, Superman was in the courthouse a second ago. It was crazy.
I've never seen you and Superman in the same room.
Yeah, I don't. He doesn't. It's weird that he would be in Indiana. It's a lot of that. He's got some work to do around here.
Guys, I'm so sick of hearing people on any internet forum or whatever. Reddit is like the worst offender, but you can go like, "Oh, guys, Growlmon X can come back. It's fine. It's not as good as it used to be. Growlmon's not doing anything. It will do stuff if it comes back.
Yeah,
it's just not had sort of good support."
Why did the rowing team stop rowing as quickly when we took the oar away? Wow, what a question.
Yeah,
would you believe
they got the little Agumon that's going to be at the front room?
Yeah, I got nothing for. The other thing is even in a context where some of the other things we've talked about get hit, there is a new Agumon that returns specifically virus Growlmon pieces back to your hand at start of main, and it's very good irrespective of the context of what it's already doing here. Do I have full copies of Export? Yes, I certainly do. Thank you very much for asking. I played them with my Black program on this back in the darn day. Yeah, you know what? I think Superman has his as well, but I wouldn't know. I don't know what he does for a living. Can't imagine he makes that much money. Guys, if you thought that we were going to put this card back to 4, you ain't been watching the show. We are no good, nefarious, misinformation peddling swindlers. But this is the only lie we're not telling today.
But yeah, this was a fun one. This was supposed to be the bait and switch, and this guy, he's hung out with a bad crowd. Like, he at heart, he's a good kid, but you know, I don't know, the prophecy or the Bible said that the forbidden fruit, and he has eaten so much of it, so much. Like, you could extract it from his, so we have to put him down. Well, we don't have to, but wouldn't be opposed to it.
We'd like
I think I mentioned at the start that I don't think Growlmon X is the most overpowered of the cards we would talk about today, but I think he's the right hit. I think this card is legitimately broken. It went from balanced in the context of the formats it saw playing originally to scrambles existing, to recursive level 3 free playing. They used to stop saying, back when you used to free play these little guys out, they used to say without their on play. That is no longer the case. Some of these cards trigger unconditionally, fully with no problem. If your fake armor purge Growlmon goes in and chips, sometimes it comes back and attacks. This thing lets you bioemerge into any Gallantmon, ignoring the requirements of needing rush. They've been printing design space around doing that. This card has left containment in a way that I think they didn't anticipate with how Digimon changed in 2 years. And it's a challenge. Do we think he'd be okay if he cost 5? I think he would be okay if he cost 5, but it wouldn't change the decks he's broken in right now.
Yeah.
Like, if he cost 5 and you couldn't free play him off the engines that are good, it wouldn't matter.
That's
like
the thing.
Purple
The 5
and red,
cost
honestly,
only would matter if you took Grab Crush away, so they couldn't grab Crush to the memory they need.
Yeah.
Took Growl X away, so the 5 doesn't matter, and then you get 1 for free off of Meg, where the 5 cost doesn't actually change anything. So I feel like the 5 cost is kind of like a band-aid fix on like a missing.
I think the final piece of the puzzle that really, like, this card can't exist with other stuff anymore is TDID. I think the Digimon I designed represents future design space consumed in a way that's not really fair anymore. If this card exists, you can make any Growlmon kind of for the future of the game's life. So it starts a chain that like knocks on in a weird way. If it was one of its colors, maybe there was a world that was fair. If it didn't evolve over Gigimon for 0, maybe there was a world that loss of pace mattered. But like, to be honest with you, it wasn't the best designed when the mill WinCon was what we were doing. So
another case of analog youth as well, where it's also just crept up in other random purple decks, well, not random purple decks, but like good purple decks to close out games because they could just print add amount of memory. Like, it popped up in Levia, it's popped up in Purple Hybrid as well.
Not even I guarantee you, like, the game, if you play any form of like mid range,
I saw one
20 between both players. Like, I got hit with it in Hero because they're a red pile because the game lasted more than 4 turns, so there were 20 cards in trash. Oops, I guess I died from a memory. Not bad.
I saw one in Machine Dramon. Like,
yeah,
you'll fill the trash. You got time. Yeah, it's it left its identity of needing to have a full trash mattered in the mill win cons, but it is not a generic enough. Sorry, it's too generic an interaction point for this card to stop seeing play in other things generically. If it worked and you were like, seriously, maybe if this card said you had 15 Growlmons and Gallantmons in trash, you gained rush or something like that, that would be fine. It would at least do something to restrict it. And that 15 is a number that's too big for like just level 3s and 4s. But even then, I'm like, is it worth, like, if you get rush and then you biomerge for 0, maybe you should be biomerging into a rush Gallantmon that they're designing intentionally for that purpose, just as a thought. So I think there's aspects of this card's lifespan that have been weird too.
Think about it this way.
Mervamon used this, man.
Got a card that reads, take a free security. That card costs 6. You could also play 2 Rush Guild. Yeah. So I don't know. I putting 5 play costs on this genuinely would fix that issue, but it wouldn't fix all of the other implications.
Yeah. There's also Sorry, go on, Tom. You finish.
I was gonna say, I think if they hit this and not Growlmon X, I think the archetype as a whole falls off for about 6 months. I think you still have to hit Growlmon X, but when it's a bad aggro deck and like a good mid-range control or combo deck, I think it gets better again eventually. But if they hit Growlmon X, I think this card would be nerfed in a way right now that it wouldn't see as much play, and it would no longer be like keeping the eye on like the discard pile, working to this extra lethal range. But this card will get another shot. It's not, if it doesn't go with Growlmon X, you'll see it again one day soon.
But I kind of disagree there in the sense that I think if you hit this and not Growl X, the Growl X powers just go back to playing Megi and Analog Youth, and then rather than floating into rush bodies, they float into draw cycles and then refresh the raising area, and then just went from that sort of point, and then their end game becomes float into War Growl, teed it into Rush Gallant. What I would also say is that I think if this bean needs to hit at 0 rather than 1, because if Growl X and Guilmon are at 1, there is still that risk of stat factor where people will cycle so many cards by nature of them being, a purple that will cycle cards for days. You only need to find this Guilmon in trash once, and it's loopable.
And that can sometimes be put it on a rookie trash.
Yeah.
One thing that is really interesting though is like, even if you hit this to 0 and you left Growl X, in theory, Ginkaku on promote is a 1-cost Evo over your Growlmon. So if you needed back into a Growlmon and spend low cost of 1 memory.
God, Purple's such a mistake, bro. What were they doing?
Yeah. I think at least the prerequisite of using Teeded as like a combo piece is intentionally thoughtful design. Yeah. And so I wouldn't cry over that. But it's not a tall enough fence to jump yet. They gotta make you work for it a little. I shouldn't really be losing to 2 level 4s hitting me in the head that spawned little brothers that did the same over and over.
Mega Kanga.
Again, it's Crossheart VT10 again, right? Like that's kind of what we're looking at. It's a challenge. I'll miss him, but it's for the. I won't miss these 2.
Yeah.
Woo 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 woo.
I had no joke. These are terrorists.
Yep.
This is another card that needs errating. Well, it's a card they should have errated a long time ago.
Like a year ago.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
I'll cite Yu-Gi-Oh! Once again, right? The Yu-Gi-Oh! Has like straight up banned cards for like infinite looping. Like they've banned the Yatagarasu. And it's still banned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Yada came back actually.
It came back.
I think they relented on Yada, I believe. I think
it's way harder to set up the lock now. And
it's gone to the point where, but for the longest time, Yatagarasu had been banned because it just completely locked your opponent out. Catapult Turtle got errata because it was an FTK. Colossal Fighter or Armory Arm, I always forget which one got errata because you could infinite loop kill your opponent. This card has had 5 infinite loops. And the decision to every time has been, we'll ban the other card. Or we'll pair ban them so you can't run them together.
It's now getting to the point where, especially I think the Leopardmon really tips it over the edge, because before you'd be like, the funniest one would be to pair ban Sayo and Koh with the entire Legend Arms archetype just to be safe. But with like Leopard in CS piles, now like you'd also still have to get rid of Rowdy Rocket. Like there's so many ways to set up these loops now that they're getting better, and also players love finding it. Went from like, oh, this is like a one-off to like it's like speed running and glitch hunting. You've got these people that just like I've got to result. I've got to skip my opponent. I've got to turn this into a 1-player game stat.
I mean, the worst part of this in the Leopard file is using the CS engine lets this thing activate. Like it's it positively contributes to finding its win con. It's so I wrote off a good friend of the show, Henny Key, did a little bit of testing with the time mat loop when it's not as good as the other one. We moved along. And you see the Leopard loop and you're like, oh, that's not a joke. That is real. That one's bad. There's nothing left, man.
Just errata the cards. Just like Banda just needs errata cards.
This one I think you could just kill, and you've got a new Sayo. You still have 2 tamers to play with the real pile. Sorry about this one.
It kills Grace Novamon, I think, if it goes.
Yeah, that's like my only. I want to keep it for Grace, but like realistically speaking, Apollo Ace like this.
Yeah, like I feel like they printed Apollo Ace very intentionally to be like we are taking this away from you, but we still want you to take Grace after your turn.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I think Grace Nova, frustratingly, is actually kind of an underwhelming level 7 boss monster if it's not for the fact that it's jump scaring your opponent when their pants are down. So with the context of this card being half that power budget, I kind of wonder where they'll go from here. Tom is right. If they errata it, things get better. But I have yet to see them do it. So
like they could just do it. They could just errata it and be like, guys, we're going to start errataing cards so that they're more balanced.
Yeah.
No, they're just no. They just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I'll just do another pair ban, but I pair ban this card with half the game. So yeah, just kill it. Koh has never contributed anything positive to society.
They can hit it in like for the BT24 version. The problem is BT24 is in February,
I believe.
February. So it's like there's still 6 months before that. So like the Grace pile is dead for 6 months if you hit it now, which is kind of why I'm a bit iffy.
Which would be crazy after printing Apollo money.
It
would be a real. We'll see.
All right, we've got
our final attendee here today at the courthouse. So when I received the call, my summons to court today, I was told to make sure I brought in Sakuyamon and Talmon. But to be honest with you, gang, myself and my team of paralegals who are deeply underpaid and the public defenders who couldn't get time off work to see their family at the holidays, we all collectively agree that actually these cards are bullshit and they should all go. I put yellow on here, but they're all good. We can all go. Blue Scramble sucks. Red Scramble sucks. Green Scramble sucks. They all suck. It's so deeply unenjoyable to interact with Digimon with these cards. It would make Sakuyamon cool again, and it would stop us playing like everyone's half a purple deck. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I also hate generic stable.
Yeah, I'm kind of behind one. The more interesting one is like, ooh, pair ban yellow scramble with Palmon or something.
I'm so done with like those discussions. The pair ban's not happening.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to pair ban.
Yeah, they're going to hit Palmon.
They did it twice, not even once. So it's
true. They did pair ban two twice. You're right. I'm forgetting what's the second pair ban?
Shoto Mother.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, they're not gonna pair ban an entire archetype with one of the best generic cards in the game. They're just not going to do.
It's crazy.
I guess
I will publicly apologize on Twitter.
Blocker Box is not technically an archetype, but yeah, Shoto
no, it was like Mother Shoto wasn't an archetype. It was Black Hybrid was the archetype, but then also Davis ran it. I can't think. Well, I mean, D Reaper ran it as well, I guess. Omnizoo would run it. I think that was it.
The only other major abuser was like Demon Lords. But they don't obviously have the egg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't generic enough. Like, Shoto is generic enough, but it wasn't generic enough that it was going into absolutely every deck and making them top. I think like the best instance of it was like Demon Lords. Demon Lords is not really. Well, yeah, that's true. But like this, like pair ban scramble with Sakuyamon, like it doesn't solve anything. The next yellow archetype is just gonna like abuse it, and then we're gonna have the same issue. The cards inherently are really strong.
Yeah, if one-ofs are going to be allowed in Digimon continually, this card being able to return one of Digimon cards is deeply unenjoyable for the long-term health of the game. The way that this is just uninteractable, speed it up from hand is just not a fun thing to play through. The like actual ability to reset on board from almost any position. Like it's strange that you have to justify how good your deck is at recovery when it loses the board state, when this exists and some decks have a one card build board back.
Also a night raid
like,
security that loses the game on the spot.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
I wonder what they were thinking.
I also
That's my 2 cents.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay, so
Scramble killed him. Oh, he's
Scramble
back,
killed me, and then
room.
yeah. So I'm back, and I put my Digimon back on top of the deck as well.
Good stuff.
But so like the way you like beat Scramble is by not having anything on board, which promoted a particular playstyle that was very purple, right? You're like, I'm going to do all of my damage. I'm going to hit you for all you're doing, and then I'm going to delete myself. So now your Scramble is off. Like Purple Hybrid was like the king of it because it would do its damage, chip you for one, chip you for one, chip you for one, and then just take themselves off board. And then set up the tamers to do it again, and then be like, I'm going to resolve Scramble. No, you're not. I don't have anything on board. So it promoted a very like purple and uninteractive game point where you had to have nothing on board just to counter it. And some decks could do it, and then other decks just like are unable to. So it's like the way to play around it isn't very intuitive.
The other like weird component of the design of Scramble, like I mentioned, is the recursion. I don't necessarily think that if a deck, like if you can whittle away at the Magnamon X's in your schmuck little raid pile or whatever, you can get through them. I think it's a challenging case to be made that they should be able to get them back consistently outside of a color like purple. I think some archetypes are intended to have like a resource, like there should be considerations to resource loss. This card also plays to deck out when conditioned. Like there are tons of things that Scrambles have changed because they're so generically powerful. And I think if the stronger cards in your deck are all generics, it's a sign for like a not necessarily healthy way to play a deck or a color. Like it's if everything you've got is 40 of the same cards somebody else is playing, it's a bummer.
Chat, we're making like really nuanced and intricate thought process here. Tom just wants to play Milligan.
Hey, I mean, they've just put new support in the villain bot.
Yeah. Tom just wants to play Milligan. And
arrest me, courtroom. I hate your decks. I love milling them. He's gonna play Bogger for 6 months. Of course, I'm milling him.
He's not wrong. I will be throwing. But yeah, that's gonna be us pretty much done for this week. This one ran a little bit longer than we thought it would. It basically gave you a full podcast broken into 2. I'll try and get maybe the ban list discussion into 1 video. Probably won't. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Toms. It was fun. If you had your picks, did we talk about your picks? Did we miss any? Are you wondering why we didn't talk about Medieval Gallantmon?
You shouldn't do.
I forgot to send it to Tom as engagement bait before the podcast started. So that's why Medieval Gallantmon gets away with this time. But that means we get to give you guys back your night or morning or wherever. But yeah, thanks for joining us for episode 51. Next episode will be technically 1 year of the podcast.
Weeks. What a scuffed fiesta that's been, huh?
Yep.
Real quick, like Andrew said at the top of this thing, but technically I suppose this is a separate stream now. Misplay for Game, second community event, name pending, something about bad guys, is coming out on October 11th in Manchester at local popular LGS Fanboy 3. It's on Hilton Street in Manchester. You'll be able to find it just by searching for it. Nice and easy. Check the YouTube video Andrew posted yesterday as time of recording. Go to the Misplay for Game Discord server. Check us out in the announcements channel. Tickets are up on a Shopify page we've got going. There's a Limitless page. All of the information will be available on the various channels you usually find this information on. We would love to have you there. It will be our case tournament. We'll have work from independent artists and community folks and lots of input from people since the last one we did have gone towards informing what kind of prizing we're going to make, how we're going to run the event. It's going to have stream stuff. It's going to be a big community happy day out. So we'd love to see you there. If you can't go and you're a channel member, but channel members got a discount, by the way. And if you're a channel member who can't go, get in touch in the members chat. We want to hear about maybe how you could contribute to somebody else showing up. That would be cool. October 11th. That's the head. October 11th, 2025. Misplay for Games, second case tournament. Fanboy 3, Hilton Street, Manchester, UK. Not Manchester, somewhere else. See you there.
Yeah. And, it's been a while, but it's the thing that people always look forward to. The only reason we actually ever press the go live button multiple times actually today.
We nearly do 22 of these.
This time I remembered I had to turn desktop audio on for this.